Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tracy P.A. Salinas from Palawan National School. So today I'm going to discuss about business letter. So we are making different business letters as we experience as a teacher. So we create different letters to communicate with others, with other organization or with other person. So to have a black and white, so that's what we call the black and white or the letter, so we know that we communicate with other persons or other organization. So today we're going to discuss what is business letter. So as we define business letter, so a business letter is a type of letter which serves as a means of communications written for various commercial purposes. So we have different purposes why we need to create a letter. So this is our way to communicate to one another, and also some for example, the persons that we're going to communicate is in a different place. So as we need to request something to them, we need to create a letter. So that is why business letter or creating business letter is very important for us to communicate clearly with other person or other organization. And next, we have the different types of business letter. So the first one here, we have the formal business letter. A formal business letter are the typical or standard business letters meant for legal or official correspondence. So for example, the different letter that we make under the formal letter. So what are the examples of that? Sometimes the business deals, or the settlement, or the dispute settlement, or the information request, so sales report and other official matters. So we have the different type of that are the under with formal business letter. And next, we have here the next one, the one of the type of the business letters or informal business letter. Informal business letter, these are the usual that we can encounter in our school or in our work. For example, it is used for casual, very casual work correspondence, but doesn't necessarily has to have a casual tone of language. So just like the memorandum, the appraisals, the interview thanks, the reference letter, cover letter, customer complaint letter. So this one, that's why we call it an informal business letter, because it is only a casual tone of language that we use for our communication. So as you can see, we only have two types of business letter, that is the formal and informal business letters. So usually we apply the informal business letter for our communication, especially with other organization, or some of our principals will send memorandums. So those memorandums is under the informal business letter. So we receive different memorandums under the undersigned is our principal. So we can check if it is a casual tone of language that they apply. So those are the things that we need to remember about the type of business letter. It's either the formal or informal. So next one, we only have here, I'm going also to discuss the parts of the business letter. So the parts of the business letter, as you can see, as you scan the different types of business letters or the different examples of business letter, the first thing that you can see is the letterhead. So So the letterhead is the topmost heading printed on letter paper. The heading consists of your name, address, and generally accompanied by a logo of the organization. So in our school, we make sure that we put the logo of our organization or of our school, and then beside that one, the logo of the DepEd. So, and then we're going to put the name, we're going to put the address, and generally to convey na we are the one who sent the letter, or you are referring for that specific person for her or for him to receive the letter. So that is the first part of the business letter. And the next one, the parts of business letter, is the date. Very important that we note the specific date that you sent the letter for them to be able to follow or when they receive the letter. So written exactly below the letterhead. So the date is important part of a letter and is used for reference. So for example, when is the date or when is the date of your did you pass your letter? So you're going to check the date on your letter or sa kinreate nating letter. So that is for our reference and to track the communication. So very important that we included the date. So the next one is part of a business letter is also the recipient. So recipient is the receiver. So receiver's name and address is very important for them to be able to address where they can be located. And next part of the business letter, this part included the name of the receiver, his designation. For example, I'm going to write my name, so Tracy A. Salinas, and then followed by my designation, Teacher 1, and the full address. So I can write my the address of my school if I will be receiving the letter at the school. So and inclusive of phone and email. So very important then that we included the name, the phone number or the contact number of the persons who will receive the letter, and also their email. So for you to be able to notify if they receive your letter. So this is very important that we have the recipient. So for here, the parts of the business letter is salutation. Salutation is a word of greeting used to begin a letter. It is courteous gesture and shows respect to the receiver. So for example, hello, good day, or hello, good morning. So it's either you're going to greet them. So this is also our usual gesture as we talk or as we give a message to someone. And next one is parts of a business letter is the body. So here are the contents of your letter, or this is the message or the main message of your letter. So the main part of the letter, so the message of the letters is to be clearly mentioned in the first line itself. The body has a relevant subject matter which is to be divided into a number of paragraphs, mostly 3 to 4 or more depending upon the matter. So if you want to discuss a lot of things, make sure that it would be understandable by the receiver. So for example, so you're going to make a request letter, so very precise and very what do you call this one, is specific. So be specific with our letter for them to be able to convey the message. So the last paragraph should sum up the whole letter and offer any assistance or take a course of action as required or instructed. So very important that our letter is very understandable by the reader or by the receiver. So they will not be confused with the content of your letter. Okay? So the next one of parts of the business letter is also our closing or the subscription. Refers to the end of the letter. It is courteous and shows a mark of respect towards the recipient. So as you can see, from the we start the letter, we show also our respect as we greet the receiver or the reader of our letter. So by that, our closing or subscription, for example, hoping for your kind consideration, God bless you. So it shows our respect and courteous gesture to the recipient or to the receiver of the letter. So, very important din po. And another one is your signature. The one who created the letter, the one who will send the letter, must have a signature on her or his letter. Sign your name after a few spaces if you have a printed name. Then sign above the line containing your type name. So this is very important to know if the letters is exactly noted by you or created by you. So yun. So the next one is parts of business letter is the sender's name, title, and contact information. So for example, if not provided the letterhead, one can include his name, title, address, phone, email in the separate lines. But we already note our name, our designation, and our contact information at the upper part of the letter, and we already included it. So that's all. So if you have your questions or if you want to clarify something, just type or encode your questions. So, but this one very usual and very familiar as we created a lot of letter, especially that we are teachers or we communicate in different organizations, and especially with the parents, with the stockholders, or even with our principals or with our co-teachers. So that is very important that we know the part of the business letter. So that's all. So for our reference, you can also browse the reference here, that https so targetstudy.com letters business letters. So for more information, you can research more about the business letter and also the samples of different business letter. So again, I would like to thank you all for taking your time for listening with my report. I hope that you've learned something from my report. Thank you. Again, I am Tracy Faye Salinas, Teacher 1 from Palawan National.
Let us now proceed with editorial article. Now, what is an editorial? An editorial is an article that presents the newspaper's opinion on an issue. So it reflects the majority vote of the editorial board, the governing body of the newspaper made up of editors and business managers. Editorial writers build on an argument and try to persuade readers to think the same way they do. Editorials are meant to influence public opinion, promote critical thinking, and sometimes cause people to take action on an issue. In essence, an editorial is an opinionated news story. What makes an article an editorial? First, It is an opinion maker. Opinion maker is a person whose opinion influences the opinions of many other people. Next, it is reconciliatory between contrary viewpoints or standpoints, meaning it focuses on improving both horizontal relationships between people and groups in society, and vertical relationship between people and institutions. The third one is it is meant to influence public opinion. Since public opinion can be influenced by public relations and the political media. Additionally, mass media utilizes a wide variety of advertising techniques to get their message out and change the minds of people. Number 4, critical thinking can help you better understand yourself and in turn help you avoid any kind of negative or limiting beliefs and focus more on your strengths. Being able to share your thoughts can increase your quality of life. And the last one, what makes people take action? So, action isn't just an effect of motivation, but also the cause of it. So, most people only commit to action if they feel a certain level of motivation. In essence, an editorial is an opinionated news story. Now, editorial have number 1, introduction, body, and conclusion like other news stories. It is an objective explanation of the issue, especially complex issues. And it is timely news angle. It also had opinions from the opposing viewpoint that refute directly the same issues the writer addresses. Number 5, the opinions of the writer delivered in a professional manner. Next, number 6, alternative solutions to the problem or issue being criticized. And number 7, a solid and concise conclusion that powerfully summarizes the writer's opinion. Now let us proceed to the 4 types of editorials. So these 4 types of editorials will explain or interpret, criticize, persuade, and praise. So number 1, what is explain or interpret? Explain or interpret. Editors often use these editorials to explain the way the newspaper covered in a sensitive or controversial subject. School newspapers may explain the new school rules or a particular student body effort, like a food drive. Number 2, we have criticize. So, these editorials constructively criticize actions, decisions, or situations, while providing solutions to the problem identified. Immediate purpose is to get readers to see the problem, not the solution. Number 3, we have persuade. So, editorials of persuasion aim to immediately see the solution, not the problem. From the first paragraph, readers will be encouraged to take a specific positive action. Political endorsements are good examples of editorials of persuasion. And last, number 4, we have praise. So these editorials commend people and organizations for something done well. They're not as common as the other 3. So I will give you an example of editorials. Here's the first one, and here is the other one. Now, how do we write an editorial? Number 1, a significant topic that has a current news angle and would interest readers. Number 2, collect information and facts. Include objective reporting and do research. And number 3, state your opinion briefly in the fashion of a thesis statement. Number 4, explain the issue objectively as a reporter would and tell why this situation is important. Number 5, give opposing viewpoint first with its quotations and facts. Number 6, refute or reject the other side and develop your case using facts, details, figures, and quotations. Pick apart the other side's logic. Number 7, concede a point of the opposition. They must have some good points you can acknowledge that would make you look rational. Number 8, repeat key phrases to reinforce an idea into the reader's minds. Number 9, give a realistic solution or solutions to the problem that goes beyond common knowledge. Number 10, wrap it up in a concluding punch that restates your opening remark of thesis statement. And last, number 11, keep it to 500 words. Make every word count and never use I. Now we have a sample structure. Okay, number 1, lead with an objective explanation of the issue or controversy. So include the 5 W's and the H. So the 5 W's and H are who, what, where, when, why, and how. So for example, the members of Congress, in effort to reduce the budget, are looking to cut funding from public television. Hearings were held. So for this, pull in facts and quotations from the sources which are relevant, and additional research may be necessary. Number 2, present your opposition first. So as the writer, you disagree with these viewpoints. You have to identify the people, specifically those who oppose you. So Republicans feel that these cuts are necessary. Other cable stations can pick them. Only the rich watch public television. So here, you use facts and quotations to state objectively their opinions and give a strong position. You gain nothing in refuting a weak position. Number 2, directly refute the opposition's belief. So you can begin your article with transition. Republicans believe public television is a sandbox for the rich. However, statistics show most people who watch public television make less than $40,000 per year. So, in here you have to pull in other facts and quotations from people who support your position and concede a valid point of the opposition which will make you appear rational. So, one who has considered all the options. So fiscal times are tough and we can cut some of the funding for the arts. However, number 4, give other original reasons or analogies. In defense of your position, give reasons from strong to strongest order. So, taking money away from public television is robbing children of their education. That is an example. We use a literary or cultural allusion that lends to your credibility and perceived intelligence. We should render unto Caesar that which belongs to him. Number 5, conclude with some punch. Give solutions to the problem or challenge the reader to be informed. Congress should look to where real waste exists, perhaps in defense and entitlements, to find ways to save money. Digging into public television's pockets hurt us all. A quotation can be effective, especially if from a respected source, and a rhetorical question can be an effective concluder as well. So, for example, if the government doesn't defend the interests of children, who will? Thank you for watching and listening.
Good morning, everyone. This is Baby G. Martinico from Palawan National School, AMTLED, Home Economics students in INSA. This morning, the topic that was assigned to me is about abstract. We will discuss what is abstract, qualities of an abstract, the types of materials abstracted, types of abstract, and the parts of abstract. Let's discuss first what is an abstract. An abstract is a brief summary of a research, article, thesis, review, conference, proceedings, or any in-depth analysis of a particular subject, and is often used to help the reader quickly ascertain the paper's purpose. It should have an intro, body, and conclusion. It is a well-developed paragraph, should be exact in wordings, and must be understandable to a wide audience. What are the qualities of an abstract? We have accuracy, correct or precise, brevity, the exact use of word, clarity, it is easy to understand. When do people write abstract? When submitting an articles to journals, especially online journals, when applying for a research grants, when writing a book proposal, when applying for research grants, when completing the PhD dissertation or MA thesis. When writing a proposal for a conference paper, and when writing a proposal for a book chapter. What are the types of materials that we usually abstracted? So we have journals, theses, dissertations, technical reports, and books. We also have patent specification, conference and symposium proceedings, and reviews. So what are the types of abstract? We have descriptive and informative. Let's discuss first what is the descriptive abstract. It indicates the type of information found in the work. It makes no judgments about the work, nor does it provide results or conclusions of the research. It may include the purpose, methods, and scope of the research. Some people consider it an outline of the work rather than a summary. These are usually very short and consist of 100 words or less. How about the informative abstract? do not critique or evaluate a work. It acts as a substitute for the work itself. That is, the writer presents and explains all the main arguments and the important results and evidence in the complete article, paper, or book. It also includes the information that can be found in descriptive abstract. What are these? These are the purpose, the methods, and scope. But also, it includes the results and conclusions of the research and the recommendations of the author. The length varies according to discipline, but an informative abstract is rarely more than 10% of the length of the entire work. Okay, so what are the parts of an abstract? The first is the motivation. If the problem isn't obviously interesting, it might be better to put motivation first. In this section, it should include the importance of your work, the difficulty of the area, and the impact it might have if successful. Then the second part of an abstract is the problem statement. What problem are you trying to solve? What is the scope of your work? A generalized approach or a specific situation showing the importance of the problem. The next part is the approach. How did you go about solving or making progress on the problem? What important variables, parameters did you control, ignore, or measure? The fourth part of the abstract is the results. What's the answer? Put the result there in numbers. Avoid vague, hand-waving results such as very, small, or significant. And the last part of the abstract is the conclusion. What are the implications of your answer? Any major restrictions or limitation on the result should be stated, if only by using weasel words such as might, could, may, and seem. So we also have the stylistic considerations. The abstract should be one paragraph and should not exceed the word limit. Edit it closely to be sure it meets the 4 C's of abstract writing. So what are the 4 C's of abstract writing? These are the complete. It covers the major parts of the project. Concise. It contains no excess wordiness or unnecessary information. Clear. It is readable, well organized, and not too jargon-laden. Cohesive. It flows smoothly between the parts. So that's all about the topic that was assigned to me, and I hope that you learned something by listening and watching this presentation. Once again, this is Baby G Pabila Martinico saying thank you and have a nice day.